my daughter's 13 months. I was like, they're both turning 68. So it was like, I want you to be there for her 10th birthday. I want you to be there for her high school graduation. Like, you guys have to do something, because they're both overweight. They both don't want to go to the gym, you know, whether it be they physically can't or they're just uncomfortable and not ready to do that yet. So like, well, this is your only choice, because I'm not around you. I can't monitor what you're eating. So we're going to do this. You don't get a second chance, and you guys are up there in ages.
Yeah. Alex Porro, welcome to the American Glutton podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bro, you have undergone an insane transformation. And like looking at you now, I see shoulders, I see traps, you're fucking jacked. How much weight did you lose?
At the biggest drop, I could say that I lost 300 pounds. But I could comfortably say that I am half of the man that I used to be. So right now I'm sitting at like 240. My highest number that I saw on an industrial scale was 480, but I definitely like had pictures where I was much larger than that. So, but we'll go by like 480 is like, that's that number.
And you're now 240.
Yeah, 240.
240 and jacked. Okay, so I have so many questions. How long did it take? What did you do? Like, these are like, I mean, walk me through it. How old were you? What made you want to change? What was the impetus for this?
Yeah, so at 24 years old, I turned 33 just so, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll go back into it, but I'm turning 33 in 10 days. So at 24, we're almost there at the 10-year mark. So that's like the important thing. At 24, I stepped on the pallet scale and it said 480. I was always big as hell. I mean, you were big too. A lot of the listeners who listen to this are obese. So I knew I was huge, but I didn't really have a number until I stepped on that pallet scale. And that was kind of just like my kick in the ass. You can't run from it anymore. This is your number. What are you going to do about it? And just kind of broke down that day after seeing that number again, because I was kind of avoiding it. And cold turkey, just stopped eating shit. Didn't really go to the gym right away, but just threw out all the junk food in my fridge at my house, and kind of just adapted to grabbing little things that I was seeing on social media. I know you've spoken to John Glad, Obese to Beast, a while back. But I kind of just utilized the internet for all the tools and seeing that there were beacons of hope of people who were able to do it. So why the fuck can't I do it? And I just kind of adapted like a bodybuilding type diet, lifestyle, just multiple meals throughout the day, lean proteins, rice, vegetables. And I lost 265 pounds in 15 months.
Jesus Christ. Just doing that?
Yeah. Just
that's
cold
incredible,
turkey.
Dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties over here. Shit is falling around. Okay. I'm traveling, so my setup is slightly unusual. Okay. 15 months. I can't even do the math. That's incredible. Were you weighing your food? Were you super diligent tracking like that? Or was it just like, I'm going to eat lean proteins, veggies, starches? I'm assuming that's like, sounds like a typical bodybuilder diet.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew what was bad for me. And again, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do like the bro diet, like chicken and broccoli, rice. And yeah, I kind of remember my diet to a T. Like I would do not even a Premier Protein, but like the Walmart brand protein shake in the morning with like 2 Light and Fit Greek yogurts. And then I would do 3 meals throughout the day of, again, like chicken, broccoli, a little bit of rice. Didn't really even know. Actually, no, I did. I didn't like know what number I should have been eating, but I was just tracking on MyFitnessPal. And again, I didn't really even get into the gym right away because at 480, I mean, you were big too. It's a little bit of a confidence barrier. It's a little bit of if I go into a commercial gym, what am I going to do? What machines am I going to fit in? So just starting off, walking a lot. And then that progressed to the neighborhood gym, which progressed to Planet Fitness. And then I had an opportunity to do CrossFit for a while. And then I picked up bodybuilding. And then, that's where we are today.
Yeah, dude, I had like zero for the longest time. I never even thought about the gym. Like the gym was not even something I contemplated. And then one day my wife like brought me a package with a trainer, and I was like, I can't go to the gym. I think I was still 400 pounds. I was like, the gym is for like fit people. I have no business going
Yeah.
into the gym. And I'm really glad she did it because it kind of broke that illusion for me a bit.
Yeah.
I still wasn't very comfortable in the gym for a long time. And then I think I did similar stuff to you. I finally felt comfortable in a public gym. I started out in a gym, a very small gym that a lot of people weren't in. I finally was like, oh, I can go to any gym. Did
Yeah.
CrossFit for a while. And then I did eventually get super, super specific with training. It no longer was just exercise. It was like, oh, let's
Following a
build,
split.
yeah,
Yeah.
build the upper
Intentional.
body, build the lower body. Yeah, what are we doing here? We're spending all this time. Let's be very specific. But I don't even, I'm trying to get back into cardio now. So I'm still following, like, I'm still doing intentional weight training throughout the week, but it's not nearly the volume that I was before. I just can't do it with trying to hit gnarly cardio numbers. I'm too kind of
Yeah.
exhausted.
Do you have like any goals that you're doing for cardio, or is it just like heart health and functionality?
Yeah, heart health and functionality. I think it was kind of instigated. Like I used to be really fit and good on a rowing machine, and then I got on
Mm,
a rowing machine and like 20 minutes kicked my ass. And I was like, hey, what's happening here? I did, I
yeah.
could do hours on this thing before. So there was a little bit of that. And then I got an Aura ring, and the Aura ring
Mm,
told me my VO2 max was fair. And fair is like, the Aura ring is very
yeah.
kind. It doesn't want to tell you
Yeah.
you're in a shit space.
Yeah.
And that fair is its version of like, you really need to worry about this.
Yeah. You're like a
Um,
60-year-old guy who just goes out to drink and goes home and watches Netflix. Yeah.
right. That's fair. That's a fair lifestyle
Yeah.
by their standards. And I'm like, I want to at least get into good. And so I
Yeah.
started to concentrate on that a little bit more. But when you first walked into a gym, you were still very heavy.
Into like Planet, yeah, I'd say I was still like I was probably four. And I documented it all. But I was probably in the fours. So like that big jump of 265 in 15 months. First month I lost 40, and then it was like 20, it was like 30, 20, 20, 15, 10, and like kept on going down. But I kind of felt like it was the time. Like I committed to it, to the weight loss and like focusing and being intentional with like eating and stuff. And I was like, all right. So I was able to commit. And I mean, Planet Fitness isn't expensive, but it's easy when you're big to committing to going to Taco Bell and spending $20 real quick. But it's like, am I going to actually spend money on a gym membership if I'm not going to use it?
Yeah.
So I got comfortable. I got a good groove, and I knew that, this was the last time. So I signed up, and I kind of switched everything now. Like now I'm an early morning, but I don't know how I did it, but I would go like after work, and it's a
Oh,
commercial gym. Yeah. I don't know. So obviously I was committed to it, like fighting people for machines, but it was kind of cool. Like it was welcoming. I still kind of kept to myself, wore a hoodie, had headphones in, just really focused.
I think,
And
a lot of people talk shit on Planet Fitness, but I do think there is something super valuable about, like, I don't need their pizza parties or whatever
yeah,
that's all about. But like the fact that it is designed for the guy who doesn't feel comfortable going to a gym.
yeah,
And it's got everything you need. It's got every piece of
yeah,
equipment you could ever need. And And you know, like dudes in muscle shirts grunting while they're lifting weights, that might not make me uncomfortable now, but I certainly would
Yeah.
have felt super uncomfortable when I was 400 pounds. I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere
Yeah.
near that part of the gym with dudes who are super jacked and ripped, you know.
Yeah.
I think Planet Fitness is awesome.
Yeah. And they're on almost every corner. Like I said, it's affordable. Um, and I stuck there for a little while and it worked, obviously.
Okay, you lost weight real quick. When you went
Mm.
that 15 months, was there any relapse? Did you regain any weight or did you just get to that number and have you stayed there and just built muscle since then?
Uh, no, like there was, again, there was like some months where it was a little bit smaller, but I lost it. And then I sat like at the beginning, I just kind of picked a number. I was like, all right, I want to be 225. I was like looking at like NFL running backs, linebackers, because I'm short, I'm like 5'9", 5'10". I was like, all right, I just want to be a stocky little running back linebacker, 225. That's a good number. And then that's when I hit that number at the 15-month mark. And I sat there for a while and then, yeah, I just started recomping a little bit. CrossFit got me a lot leaner. I think doing CrossFit, I got down to, as the weight loss folks say, I got down to Wonderland and hit 199. And then I was like, all right, that's really not for me. But then this was around COVID time and I live in Florida. Gyms, we never really lost the gym, but there was like a little brief moment where we did. So I was working out outside and then I caught wind of a bodybuilding show with Transformation Division. It's like, all right, let's go do that too. So I did that without a coach or anything like that. Just kind of pick stuff up off the internet and got even into better shape. And it's just like I said, it just kept going. But I always like maintained that. That's the important thing. Like for me, yeah, it's cool that I lost a lot of weight quick and it's, inspiring to a lot of people. But it's just that long haul where I lost that and then I maintained around like 200, 210 for a long, long time. And then, I'm a little huskier right now, but I have a 1 year old. So you got a couple kids, right? I mean, I know it's probably been a while since you were there, but
I have
it's just
grandkids though, so
adapting.
I see the parents going
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
I understand.
yeah, it's navigating everything. It's like I still try and take care of myself. I still know what not to eat, but it's just making time to be able to be physical active.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long would you say it took? Was building muscle a much slower process?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is, I'd say, I don't want to say the weight loss is easy, but it's, once you get the formula for it, it's just tedious work, but maintaining and building is definitely the long part. Like I made that huge transformation in 15 months, but where I am now took all that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that and nothing has swayed you? You haven't fallen off once. I mean, I've been following you, dude, and you've looked great
No,
this whole
yeah.
time.
Thank you. I mean, there's been like little regains, but I'd say like my biggest is just, right now, just like my wife being pregnant to right now, just adapting to that. And I don't want to use that as like a crutch at all or as an excuse because other people get through to it. But no, I've never had like a significant regain of more than like post competitions, just obviously because you get to such a lean weight that's just stage weight and then you come off. But I've never had like anything more than like a 20-pound gain.
Yeah. What is the competition regain is how is that how do you deal with that mentally? Because I've never done a competition, but I did like a prep for one basically
Mhm.
for a photo shoot. And
Yeah.
I think that day, without even really eating much, I gained 9 pounds. And
Oh yeah. I
and I
mean,
was like, this is insane because at the photo shoot, I was like, oh yeah, I'm holding on to this forever. This is the greatest spot I
yeah,
could be in. And then like the next day I was 9 pounds heavier.
yeah. I mean, I've put on because like every time I do a competition, I kind of plan it around like a little mini vacation because you work so hard. And then, so I could usually gain like 20 to 25 pounds within like a week. And that's actually fairly normal to that life because yeah, you are so dry. You're
And
not
it's not,
really
you're
doing a
not,
lot of water.
yeah, it's not eating, it's not crushing pizzas.
No,
I had a couple
no,
bananas and a Gatorade, you know?
yeah, it's it's honestly, I can't talk shit because I've done it, but it's really a dangerous thing for people who dealt with and lived with morbid obesity to go into another eating disorder because it really is like, I mean, it's a lot of discipline. Trust me, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of lifting, but it's glorified, dieting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just get so low and then you got to have the water manipulation. And then there's people who you could take, diuretics and obviously other drugs and stuff, but it's a wild sport. It's a wild sport.
It's a
So like
wild
now I'm
sport,
looking
dude. And
at,
we
yeah,
hear like, if you follow like Generation Iron on social media
mhm,
or buys and tries, every other week
yeah,
somebody is dropping dead at 50. So
yeah.
like, it's not it's not the
Um,
healthiest sport either.
no, no, absolutely. And I know it was like really on Generation Iron, like all those sites, like I don't care about like vaccine, like people's stances on vaccine, but like during like COVID times, I don't know, there was a lot of bodybuilders like dropping
Yeah.
because it's again like diuretics and who else really knows. But yeah, it's funny because like people look up to like football players, basketball players, and then some people look up to like Ronnie Coleman's not doing too well right now. Hope he pulls through, but like bodybuilders and literally bodybuilding is probably the most dangerous sport out there, and it's not even a contact sport. Just because the stuff that you have to take to be competitive, it does stuff to your organs. So
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think for the average height man being 300 pounds, whether it's muscle or fat, is healthy.
yeah,
It's just not
no,
good. It
Zach could
stresses
pull it off.
everything out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, are you still, one of the things that I found with bodybuilding was, so my life prior to bodybuilding was kind of rapid weight loss on fad diets and then rapid
Mm,
weight regain. And so it was always this kind of up and down for me. Bodybuilding just kind of stretched that out. So it was slow weight loss
mm,
and then slow weight regain. And even when I was doing maintenance the first few times and working with a trainer,
mm.
I'd see the scale creeping up and he'd be going, "You're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And I'd be like, "I'm freaking out. The scale's creeping up." And he'd be like, "You're fine. Don't worry about it." Um, but it was just that progression where I was kind of like at one point resigned to like, okay, well, the rest of my life is going to be this peaks and valleys of, you know, extremely hard work and followed by like slightly relaxing. But then it's when I'm slightly relaxed, I'm
Yeah,
gaining weight. And
yeah.
do you experience that still? Are you still kind of in that?
That's why, like, I mean, I could say I'm retired because I'm not like a professional or anything. I kind of just did it, did a couple shows. But that's where I've been at is like my last one was 23 and I was working with a coach and he's still my friend and we still talk. I was like, hey man, like, I don't want to walk away from this. I still eat out of Tupperwares and like meal prep. But yeah, I don't like eat the same meals. I don't, I do like weigh my proteins just so I know I'm like eating enough.
Yeah.
Because eating intuitively, like I could slam 3 burger patties or 4 burger patties. I just want to have like enough throughout the day. So I still like eat out of Tupperware just because it works for my job. I'm driving a truck all day, so it's just red light eating. But yeah, it definitely could. A lot of people live that, they say it's a bodybuilding lifestyle. A lot of people live that lifestyle for a really long time. And that's just something I didn't want to do. I lost the weight. I kept it off. I got rid of the loose skin because I just wanted to kind of like, I'm proud of it, but I just kind of wanted to get everything that I needed to get done. I did the work and just kind of fade away into being a normal guy.
Yeah. How do you feel being a normal guy? Do you feel like a normal guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I don't get body dysmorphia. But obviously eating like certain meals and having a little more extra fun on the weekend, you can get bloated and then you feel like shit because, you know, certain foods make you feel that way. But just waking up and going to the gym is still something that's very important to me just because it feels good in the morning to sweat and be active. Um, but like, I don't really have to, not that I ever pretended to be anybody, but like, I don't have to go out there and do extra just because I think somebody's watching. You know what I mean? If that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Like I did all the work. I'm just going in there to better my health now. It's not, I've already lost all the weight. It's nothing crazy anymore.
When you were losing weight, did you find towards the end that you had to adjust portion sizes, or did you start kind of so low that it carried you through the whole way?
I definitely had to add more because like, once you put on muscle, your body's literally a furnace and it burns more and you get hungry. And that's definitely the hardest part about, I mean, your metabolism's going to burn it off, but it's definitely like a mind fuck when you're losing all the weight, when you're so big and you're eating like a rabbit. Um, I probably, in hindsight, if I was coaching somebody now and I was coaching my old self, I probably would have ate more, but it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I was starving myself intentionally or anything. It's just probably could have had an extra meal and I still would have lost the weight. It might have been slower, um, but definitely adjusting and not being so strict, not having to be so strict on eating these exact, 99% ground turkey, whatever. Like now it's kind of just, we go to the store and whatever protein's on sale, whether it be ground turkey, chicken, pork tenderloin, or whatever. Um, it's just, that's been I don't want to say hard part, but that's been the adjustment.
Yeah, I mean but that's a great adjustment too, because that
Yeah,
kind of rigidity. Look, dude, I've eaten a lot of 99% lean ground turkey, and it
it's
sucks.
pretty terrible.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
God, it's
terrible.
like fucking
It's terrible.
sand at the end of the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so dry and
And if you're
tasteless.
doing like, you're doing low cal, you just put you drench it in hot sauce and
Yeah,
mustard and just
yeah. And
whatever.
if you're really living life, maybe a little salsa, and you're like, oh, this is a
Oof.
treat, a couple extra carbs with the
Yeah.
salsa. Um,
Yeah.
but like that forever, I couldn't do that forever. And so, yeah, I like the
Yeah.
spot you're in where it's like, I won't buy 80/20 ground beef, but I'll think
Yeah.
about it. I'll look at it. I'll long for it, but
Yeah.
I'll try to get, if they've got 96/4 ground beef, I'm stoked. Usually it's
Yeah.
93/7. And in a pinch, 90/10 is okay,
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Or you make a little blend, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
get it.
exactly. Yeah. But I think that position, when you're doing something that's successful for a long time and you get into this, like, well, this is what I'm doing that's working. I have to do this forever. That can be really
Yeah.
daunting to people.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, and then, having those big goals and like, you have to have like a supportive cast and like a relationship because depending on how disciplined you are, it could definitely be a lie if like you're going out to eat or even eating at the house and you have to eat a certain way because you have goals and then that could be a whole thing too. So that's definitely a hard thing is having two people who aren't on the same page, having groceries in the same house or whatever. And like, I would never push eating a certain, like I still have like my best friend still like almost, or actually he's 350 now. He was over 400. Both my parents are bigger and I'm trying to help them out. They're actually starting on GLP-1s this week. They finally got approved. Um, so I still have big people all around me and I don't force anything like all my other friends like, oh, you should really help me. I was like, listen, people were trying to help me out when I was that big. I don't want to hear it. I had to have that slap in the face myself to want it. Once the person wants help, I'm here. I could offer to, if I'm at the gym, they could feel free. I go super early, but if they want to come gym with me, I got it. If they want me to help them by writing up a plan so they have some sort of strategy going in there. I'm not a nutritionist, but I think I know how to eat healthier than a lot of percent of the world. So I'm there to support. But, when you're that big, you can't have anybody else want it for you more than you have to want it for yourself.
How did you avoid the kind of fad diets, the just don't eat carbs or avoid lectins or seed oils or any of that? How did you stay away from those traps?
I mean, like I said, I was like always big. So growing up, I definitely did like the Jenny Craig. I definitely did the Atkins. I definitely ate like all the lean cuisines, which is bullshit. But I definitely did all the lean cuisines and Atkins frozen meals. I was probably, I don't know what age I was, but I remember going to Weight Watcher meetings. Um, and then it wasn't so much about I can't sacrifice, but I just portioned it throughout the day. But I kind of ate keto-ish besides the rice. I guess that would be kind of like paleo, for like the diet that got me through it. But I don't know. Like I don't have anything. I know I have a couple friends who are going to be listening. They're super keto. I think you've chat with them time to time. But just as a whole, and not a jab, it's just like it's not very sustainable. Like if you want to be a social person, like sure you can, like your friends shouldn't shun you for it, but like I want to be able to go to a restaurant and pick anything on the menu within reason. Like, and then the whole seed oils, yeah, sure. There's a lot of studies with seed oils being bad for you and all these other chemicals and foods like that. But if I'm going out to a restaurant, I'm not going to ask the chef, oh, can you just use grass-fed butter or olive oil? Like I'm just not that person. I have to live my life a little bit.
Yeah, and I have nothing against keto.
No, yeah,
I've yet to see uh, somebody lose all the weight they needed to lose without adjusting portions doing keto
yeah,
and kind of
yeah,
sail off into the distance happily ever after. And it is sold as if you just reduce your carbs and increase your fats, that's all you have to think about. And so I'm like, I think that's misleading to people.
mhm,
But if somebody's having success doing keto, I'm all for it. But the thing that does bother me is when it gets into like, this is better for your brain. And
yeah,
those kind of absolute statements, or you need to get healthy before you lose weight and you'll get healthy doing this diet. This keto thing will fix. And it's like, dude, you're trying to sell a diet. People want to do a diet to lose weight. If somebody wants to get healthy, they're not coming to you. You know what I mean? Or they're not looking
yeah,
at you for health. And so keto does irritate me on those levels sometimes. But like if an individual is like, look, I can find this energy deficit while eating keto in a much better way than I can with carbohydrates, or my body doesn't react great to carbohydrates, I'm all for it. I just don't
yeah.
I just don't think there's been a huge amount of evidence to show that it's been
That you need to cut
successful
out a
for a lot of
macronutrient.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I just go like, where's you know, right now, the biggest evidence for weight loss is GLP-1s, and they just reduce intake. So you're in a caloric deficit and you're
yeah,
losing weight, and there you go.
yeah. Like I did 75 hard a couple years back, and like it says, pick a diet. So I did carnivore, and like I was doing it all wrong, just because I had some overseers who had like knowledge and they did it before. But just me as a person, I don't really like fatty steaks. I don't really like fatty beef. So like I enjoy like a filet or a sirloin. Obviously like a fattier beef burger blend tastes better. But I I was in the calorie deficit. Obviously I was doing the 2 workouts a day, but I just couldn't stomach doing cheap Walmart beef. And because if you're doing it right and you're spending all the money on grass fed, grass finished, like I couldn't afford that shit. So all my
Right.
all my meat and stuff was coming from Walmart or Publix. And I did it. I did a 75 hard, and obviously I lost a lot of weight because again, you're on a 75-day, no days off program and all that stuff. But it just wasn't for me. And then like with the GLP-1s, I give a lot of credit to people. I give a lot of credit to people who have surgery and GLP-1s, because my best friend, I'm seeing him firsthand. He worked out. He was one of my first like workout partners. And then, he got into a relationship and there was comfort. And then, they started doing more video games and social outings. And he drifted away from the gym. He's on it and I see him and he's fucking like, he went to the gym with me because he lost the 70 additional pounds. And he just has no energy.
Right.
Because that's what it does to you. It's great. It does the job. It, gets your appetite. It slows your digestion. So you're full, but food is energy. So, if you want to lose weight, that's why I think it's great for my parents. I kind of had the tough discussion. Like it's hard to say to your parents, and, I get emotional thinking about it and talking to them about it. It's like, my daughter's 13 months. I was like, they're both turning 68 soon. It's like, I want you to be there for her 10th birthday. I want you to be there for her high school graduation. Like, you guys have to do something, because they're both overweight. They both don't want to go to the gym, whether it be they physically can't or they're just uncomfortable and not ready to do that yet. So it's like, well, this is your only choice, because I'm not around you. I can't monitor what you're eating. So we're going to do this. I have a supplement sponsor. I will supply the protein. So you guys are getting that. But this is, you don't get a second chance, and you guys are up there in age. And once you're able to move, let's go and wash. Let's do all that stuff.
Yeah. Let's talk about skin. You had skin removal surgery. How was that experience for you?
Oh man, that was a great chapter. No, it actually, the surgery, it all went really good. I had lost weight. I thought it was very important to sit there for a little while. So I was probably 6 years of keeping the weight off. And I'm just a normal dude. I have a 9 to 5. I have a condo, cheap mortgage. And I just never like thought about it as like, hey, I'm going to get 30, 40 grand together, and I'm just going to get loose skin. So it just wasn't that important to me. I was going to the beach, into the pool shirtless at 480 pounds. So I didn't really care. But I just worked up again, like a sponsorship deal where somebody really believed in me. They saw, my story, and, not that it was like bothering me, but they're like, hey, what if we can get this doctor to sponsor your surgery? So that's, the main reason why I had it done. And, it worked beautifully. I had a 360 all the way around. They sold me on the fleur-de-lis going up. It's not so high. It's like to my belly button line. But it was 8 months, or not 8 months, excuse me, like a 7 to 8 hour surgery. The hardest part was it was away from home. I had the surgery in New York. So it was out of my house, out of my area. And then I had a complication.
How long till you, well, I want to hear about the complication, but I want to know how long until you got to fly home?
So I was stuck in New York for 5 weeks.
Oh my God, dude. Was your wife there with you?
Nah. So I had a girlfriend at the time, and
same girl you're married to now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. We could. So that was like the unfortunate but fortunate thing about it is, so I was planning to go out there for 2 weeks to have the surgery. And that's all the vacation time I had. But I was like, again, surgery's paid for, once in a lifetime opportunity. Let me go do it. And then, I think it was like a week or two into the recovery, maybe like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I was just depressed, man. Again, I was away from home. My girlfriend at the time, she couldn't emotionally be there, to support the surgery, just other outside stuff. So she didn't make the trip. I was missing her. I was missing home. It wasn't even so much like the gym. Like I knew that was going to come back, whatever. But
it's a lot of time sitting doing nothing.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
really hard on me. And by the
Yeah.
way, I
Like,
had 4 kids and a wife with me pretty much the whole time. And it was really, the recovery for me was really hard.
yeah. How many drains do you have? Did you remember? Did you have like 360?
Yeah, I had 360 and I think I had like 6 or 8 drains.
Oh shit.
I had a
Okay. I
lot.
had 4.
And I
Yeah.
had I had complications too. I had to have blood transfusions. I bled too much when they did it. I was for sure. Listen, I was not in the right place at all to do it when I did it. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine if I'd had to have traveled to do it and was alone.
Yeah.
That's awful, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So no, yeah. So luckily, my mom did make the trip, and then my brother flew out. He didn't even have the address, but
It just flew to New York.
my mom was like sending pictures on like check-ins, and he saw like a street. He literally saw a street sign, and he saw the house number, and he just fucking showed up. Thank God, because I would have had it, but I would have had my mom help me shower, but that would have been, if avoidable, great. So my brother was helping me shower and stuff and taking care of me. But yeah, like having the drains in you, you get it. You're walking around like a crippled old man on, using a walker or whatever. So I wasn't really getting up to do your scheduled walks to keep the blood circulation. So I caught a blood clot in my calf, went to the ER in Staten Island. Actually, it's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town. People talk shit about Staten Island. But caught a blood clot in my calf, went to the ER. They saw it. They gave me some like thinners, whatever, sent me home overnight. It shot up into my lungs.
Oh,
So I had a pulmonary embolism. Yeah, I had a pulmonary, but I didn't say anything because that same day I was supposed to have drains removed. So,
you're
I
miserable.
didn't say
You
it
can't breathe. And you're just going,
yeah,
I just want the drains out. So I'm not going to say anything because
yeah,
maybe they won't take the drains out.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, you could have died.
So, yeah, I think so. That's where I definitely understand what happened with the ex-girlfriend. But like, I put my mom and I put a lot of people in a terrible situation because of that. But again, I was just like miserable and I wanted those drains out. So I shut up and I was just struggling. But I was like, nah. I was like, let's go. So the driver picked us up from Staten Island, New York traffic. The doctor was in Manhattan. So traffic, bridges, all that shit. Could have died, whatever. Went to the doctor. He's like, listen, he's like, you look great, but you need to go to a hospital. Like, get out of here. So went back to Staten Island. I don't know why I didn't just go to a hospital there, but they scanned 2 clots shot into my lungs. I was there overnight. Didn't even have like a room or anything. I was just like in a hallway in a bed because they didn't have any beds available. Yeah, it was a great time. So like I was physically, like my body, everything was prepared for it. I had all the medications, I had all the stuff, but like the mental aftermath of the complication, and then the girl left me because, again, I understand it to an extent. Like I put a lot of people, I was only thinking about myself having a surgery, coming out, and I could have died. And then she would have been mourning me. And then my mom would have been in a car with her dead son and all this stuff. So that was like the traumatizing part of the surgery. It came out fine. Like I'm here.
Like, thank God.
I competed after it.
You're here. You're married. You got a kid. Your
Yeah.
life is good. So
Yeah.
thank God. This is great.
Yeah.
This is not a tragedy. But Jesus
No.
Christ, dude, my heart rate is elevated hearing that story.
It was, if you didn't know me, so this isn't like a promo or anything, but like the whole surgery is on, I have a documentary on Amazon Prime, and it's funny because they left it on a cliffhanger where they have the whole leading up to the surgery. They have the ER, so you get to see me naked and, doing all that. And then they leave it on me being rolled into the ER, and then you hear me gasping for breath, and then it cuts. So like, if you didn't know me, like, oh shit, he died.
Wait, they didn't do a part 2?
No, we never. We definitely should, but like I never worked.
That is an irresponsible way to end that documentary, Alex. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, listen. And it's cool because if they did a part two, I mean, like after the part two, like you said, I got married, I competed, got another transformation title. So they definitely could make a part two.
Yeah, part two is like the glory. We need the part two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what like for anybody out there who's thinking about getting loose skin removed, what do you think you could have done differently? Or what do you wish you had, you know, when I think about my deal with skin,
Mhm.
I just never wanted to have surgery. I'm scared of surgery. Um, I had all these backward ideas about how it was cheating. I really did believe in myself somewhere that red lights or fasting or mineral wraps or something was going to tighten the skin up. So surgery to
Yeah.
me felt like a cheat. It felt like I'm just doing it fast. And
Mhm.
I don't know that I ever was truly satisfied with the knowledge that the skin wasn't going to go away. Do you know what I mean? So when I went to
Yeah.
have the surgery, I was antsy and anxious, and I'd gained some weight right before I went in to do it. So I wasn't even that lean. Then I almost bleed out on the table, have to have blood transfusions.
Yeah.
And then I'm so antsy in recovery and so miserable just sitting there, feeling like I'm getting fat again. You know, you're a little bloated
Yeah.
after surgery. You're
Yeah.
swollen and you're not
Yeah.
moving. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not, you are not at your leanest self. And then I tried to do too much too fast, fell down, split my side open, wound up in the hospital for a couple of weeks. Had to have a wound vac for 6 months because they couldn't sew me up again. Like mine was a disaster. And
We're
so
we're trauma buddies.
we're
Yeah.
trauma buddies. If I go
Yeah.
back, I'm like, fucking hammer it into your head that this is the right thing to do, that don't do shit unless you're like you know what I mean, like if it wasn't the
Yeah.
right thing to do, don't do it. And I think if I'd waited 5 years, I might have been better off, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If I'd gotten to a place like you and maintained, maybe I'd be better off. If I'd learned how to meditate, if I'd, gotten at peace with sitting still and being alone with myself, maybe I'd be better off. What could you have done? Like, dude, the fact that you had a double clot in your lungs, or two clots in your lungs, and you were just kind of muscling through it because you wanted the drainage bags out. I wanted those
It's
fucking
that.
drainage. Those drainage bags
Yeah.
are awful,
It's that
dude.
bad.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And it was like, it's once you see them come out and stuff, it's not that daunting, but it's just like a mind fuck that you feel like you're plugged in and like limited. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, and again, having like my mom having to like nurture and care and like they have to empty the drains out because that blood starts to smell funky. And then like having to like walk around corners slowly, whatever. It's just, I wanted all the outside, stuff that I was talking about missing home and all that stuff. I wanted to be home so bad. So
Yeah.
whatever it took, and it was irresponsible looking back. But no, like my only advice would be, honestly, is like anybody listening or anybody who's like going through the journey and stumbles upon this. And like I've talked about it before, it's like maintain it for a little bit. Because I'm not saying you're going to have a significant, like if you lose 200 pounds, you're going to gain it back. But maintain it for a little bit just to see if you're going to sit there for a while. Because if you go from 400 down to 200 and then you have the weight, the loose skin, but you haven't found your comfort number, like you're not comfortable at 200, you're going to sit around 260. If you're like a 6'2" guy, whatever, it could be a mind fuck, and you're not gonna like blow out the seams and stuff like, but, and it's not
No,
so
but
much about looking funky, but it's just,
you do look funky because I did gain weight post skin
mhm,
surgery, and what happens is they remove fat cells when they remove skin.
yeah,
You're also
yeah,
removing fat, um, and the fat doesn't regrow there. That's just an
yeah,
area with no
yeah,
fat. So
yeah,
you're now gaining weight in other parts of your
everywhere
body,
else.
Yeah.
That's my
And
legs. Yep.
it's weird, you know, like, yeah, my legs got fatter, my upper body got fatter, but my waist did not get fat
Yeah.
when I gained weight. You're dead on right that like I think that's really sage advice. Hang out at the weight for a while, dial in maintenance, like be comfortable with that
Yeah.
because having skin removed from that area and then, you know, gaining 40, 50 pounds is going to be tough. It's going to be, it's, you know, you won't gain it there, but you'll gain it in other places.
Yeah. And it's definitely like, just again, for like the average person, it's a huge financial obligation that you want to be ready for. Like, sure, you could finance a surgery. I mean, people finance cars and finance houses, but uh, there's just something to it that sit there for a little while before it ain't cheap, like, you know. And I see, this isn't even me talking shit, but like I see like sponsored surgeries going around the community, fly down to Tijuana or all that stuff. And I'm sure there's good doctors there too. But research your doctor, please. It is I again, me, like that was my one and only surgery ever. So if you're comfortable like going down a knife, go for it. But there's no guarantee in anything, but you might not wake up from an anesthesia. So make sure you do your research on the doctor.
Yeah. I have a family member. Well, my mom had a weird sickness and she used to go to Tijuana for some treatments that 10 years ago, you know, some kind of stem cell thing. And she, it didn't help her at all, but she went down there an awful lot. And so now I have another family member who's like talking about going and doing something. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm sure there's good doctors in Tijuana, but there are also good doctors here. Um, and
Yeah.
like the whole thing makes me nervous, you know?
Yeah. Especially if they're so antsy, like all these free surgeries are just jumping at like, I mean, nobody's any better than anybody, but just, I don't know, like going after like a high profile account, just again, for the compensation of creating content for the surgery reimbursement. Do your research before you jump into anything.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Tell me about your documentary. How did that happen?
So it was created or funded or whatever you want to say it. Just against, it's a guy that I used to compete against, Anthony Lawley. And he's like a real estate mogul from New York. And we were just competing back and forth. And honestly, it started off as like a promotion for like a new year, new me challenge. And they wanted to offer me to jump on like their coaching um, portal. And he's like, oh, you help us promote this, and then we can get you all these clients. And you're kind of just like accountability. They'll have a nutritionist and a personal trainer and all that stuff. And I was like, it's like, yeah, man. I was like, I don't know. I kind of just like big dicked to say. And I was like, listen, man, it's like, I help you out. You help me out. I was like, what is that? He's like, and he lost like 120 pounds. I was like, if you can get your surgeon to do my surgery, let's do it. And somehow he worked it out, but
Oh, wow.
it worked out for everybody. Yeah, it worked out for like I've had 4 or 5 guys because he did phenomenal work. Obviously, I had to put in work after, but he specializes on the male physique. Like I think he probably does breast augmentations and Brazilian butt lifts for women too. But it kind of just worked out that they wanted to document and get all my stuff, and then a bunch of other people from the weight loss community follow and saw my results, book surgeries, and it's kind of just everybody got something out of it. So it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Skin Deep. You get to see a whole lot of me on there. And it was something, man. It was something again because like whenever people talk about it or ask, want to see it, I definitely have like PTSD. I definitely have PTSD, like
I
reliving
bet.
that whole situation. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's great. I'm glad that people could watch that and see what not to do. I don't want to say it's like not a proud thing, but the good old days, man. The
Yeah.
good old days.
Yeah. I mean, another guy who's an actor who I had on the show, Will Sasso,
Hmm.
he had a rough time with the surgery. I had a rough time with the surgery. You had a rough time. I'm sure not everybody has a rough time with the surgery, and and I don't think
Yeah.
everybody has to have a rough time with the surgery.
No.
But it isn't, you know, it isn't like fixing a broken arm. It is,
No.
it is a, you are pretty incapacitated for a while.
Yeah.
Like you talked about not being able to stand up straight. Dude, I swear to God, sometimes I wake up and I still am hunched over and my wife is like, "What are you doing? You had the surgery, you know, Jesus, nearly 20 years ago. Stand up
Yeah.
straight," and it's like, "Oh yeah, my not that whatever they did down there and cut me in half, that's not an issue anymore. I don't have to like,
Yeah.
but I have some signs of I just get stuck in that, like what it was like for so long. And then I have to remind myself I can stand up straight. I'm not going to tear sutures, even though it's
Yeah.
almost 20 years later.
Were you walking? Did you get like a walker or anything? Where you? I was like super prepared. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. So I had like a little walker with the tennis balls on the bottom of it.
I
But
I don't
hey,
even think I walked enough to use a walker for a while.
yeah,
Well, I was home like 24 hours later or maybe
mhm.
2 days later.
Yeah. A lot of them are quick though. My wife now, she's like, they sent you home right after surgery. I'm like, yeah. Woke up,
Yeah.
you healed in the room for a little bit, came to.
They
I'm
make
like,
sure you're
all
not
right, let's get
actively
you.
bleeding.
Yeah,
Uh,
all right, let's get you home.
yeah. It's wild, dude. It is a wild thing. And you got stuff taped. Those drains are taped all over your body because
Yeah,
it's wild. And then they got to be below you. So like when you sit down, you got to undo them and unclip them from your gown or whatever and drop them on the floor
yeah.
so they can fill up. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. And I think, you know, especially with the GLP-1 agonists, people are going to be dropping weight fast and it's going to be a booming marketplace. When I did it,
Yeah.
I could only find one guy that did it. And now I think there's
Yeah.
lots of people that do it. So it's
And it's
something to
cool.
think
It's cool
about.
that there's like, yeah, and there's cool. It's cool that I mean, weight loss surgery has been around. Per se, GLP-1s have been around, but they're being utilized differently now. But it's really fortunate now that these tools are readily available and that like working out is really fun to do now. Like everybody's doing it. Gyms are packed. There's super cool looking gyms that look like dungeons and crazy techno lightings and stuff. And like being fit is cool. Like you just go to the mall and you see random people wearing young LA and stuff like that. So it's definitely changing. And I don't know if the obesity epidemic's gonna, because there's still people who don't care for the gym and don't want to do any like drugs like that. But I think in like the next 10 years, 5, 10 years, I mean, even like right now, things are changing, but it's going to be interesting to see like what the future looks like in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll have really figured it out. Maybe they'll spot guys like
Scary.
me coming and they'll be like, you need to do, a couple months of meditation before we put you under the knife. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because I mean, I hate to say it, but it was character building. Like we still need fat kids. Like I'm glad. I hate to say it, like I'm glad that I kind of got bullied and was left out of gym class and doing all this stuff because it made me who I am now. So it makes you appreciate all that stuff. But whether it be team sports kind of slowly die off, but like kids are still playing video games, but drugs, I don't know. It would be weird times for sure.
Yeah. The future. I have gotten to the age where I now understand my parents' frustration with me because I think what they saw in me was so foreign from what they were used to, where I
Mm.
now see my kids and their friends, and I'm like, I don't understand their language, I don't understand their music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the old man a little bit, and I wonder what it'll be like for them. Like my granddaughter is going to have a completely different experience even than my kids and she's going to go through that. And what's life going to be like for her? It's wild. Definitely. Alex, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Again, we've been chatting for years, and I was like, let me shoot my shot. Let's have an actual conversation.
I love it. Thank you.